Alright, so welcome back, everybody. It's the beginning of 40 days and 40 nights for some of you, whether that's religious or not. We're going to talk about that. So it's already we're in the middle of February, and for some of you, you got some New Year's resolutions that you're still trying to go ahead and fulfill, that you're doing your best to go ahead and, lose the weight, start eating healthier, whatever it is. Hopefully you're somewhere along that path of your goal. So I was thinking, in light of all this, 40-day stuff, this is a great time to really get to your goals, or get to one of your goals, one of your dreams, something that you really want to get to, Maybe you've been pushing off losing weight, and maybe you've just been working out a little bit here and there, but now in these 40 days, I really want to challenge you, because I'm going to do it myself. I really want to challenge you to really push yourself to get to your goal, to get to your dream in these 40 days. So this is a really, really important video right here, okay? I'm going to do my best to keep in touch with all of you, whoever wants to reach out. Please, alright? If you need any tips, any suggestions on how to hopefully get to your goal or your dream, just shoot me an email, shoot me a message, whatever you want to do. But let's try it in these 40 days. It's only 40 days, okay? Some people have been doing this for years, okay? Yesterday, I wanted to go with my mom. We went to church. She invited me to go. I haven't been to the church in a while. Anyhow, I went, and I got the ashes and everything, and then started talking to the father there. And I asked him, "So what are you giving up this year?" And he said, "I'm gonna cut back on just I'm gonna get smaller portions. I'm gonna eat a little bit less now. So I'm just gonna cut back on my portions, have a little bit less of food, and I'm gonna cut back maybe on some Chilean wine." He was saying, you guys have great wine, but I'm gonna have to cut back on that too. And I asked him, "So does it get harder every year, or is it easier?" And he said, "It's not about being harder or easier." He said, "It's about how much energy I go into it with it. And it's how much energy I go into this year by saying, you know what, I'm going to do it, and that's it." He's putting all his energy into just dropping, into stopping, maybe cutting back half of what he eats and what he drinks. So in these 40 days, let's first, before you even started, maybe you're already starting it, right? Maybe you already said, in these 40 days, I'm really going to cut back on what I'm eating, and you're being serious about this, okay? Or you're saying, in these 40 days, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kick my butt. I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to go to the track. I'm going to run every day, and I'm going to start doing 5, 10 miles. I'm going to get up to 15 and 20. Before I know it, I'll be up to 25 and 30 miles by the 40th day. You never know. So what the point of this is to get you started. Because once you get started, right, you might not even stop. You might keep on going. Who knows where you go from there? And that's just a beautiful part right there. You never know where you're going to go after you get started. Okay, so let's start first by figuring out what it is that we want to do. Either you want to drop something and you want to start something. And that's really the goal here. Because what usually happens, and studies can prove this, you drop something, you let it go, and in this case, you're going to let it go for 40 days. All right? So for some people, that means I'm going to stop drinking alcohol for 40 days. That's great. What's going to happen on day 41? You're going to probably take in large amounts of alcohol. You might get some intoxication, and who knows how your body's going to react to that, because you kind of force yourself to just go for it. And this is what happens with diets. This is what happens when people just stop cold turkey. And this happens so many times, and you've probably done it, because I know I've done it. I'm going to stop this for 40 days. But what else are you going to start? You can't just stop something and just hope that it's going to be finished and it's going to be done with. I'm going to stop overeating. I'm going to stop saying these bad things to myself in these 40 days. I'm going to stop feeling jealous. I'm going to stop feeling angry. That's awesome, and that's great. But you got to also start promoting and bringing in those new feelings, those new ideas that you're going to keep for 40 days and then after. So this is the challenge. So let's start getting serious right here. What are you going to really let go, and where are you going to start? All right, so if you're saying, Well, I'm going to let go of eating meat, which is usually what people do. That's great. And you know what? I'm not even going to have it on Fridays. I'm just going to cut it all together. That's wonderful. What does it mean to you to drop and stop eating meat? Does it mean, what is the meaning behind there? That is really important, because if you don't find a meaning behind it, if you're just saying I'm just gonna stop eating meat because religion is saying that I should, well, that's great and that's awesome. But once the 40 days are done, and you probably felt great by not eating meat, let's just say this is an example, by not eating meat in those 40 days, and then day 41 comes around, you start eating meat, right? And you were feeling wonderful and incredible, but for day 41, you're like, well, whatever. It's over. So I'm back to it. I'm back to just, being myself. Well, this is the time to really start the new direction that you're going to lead in your life. Okay, and I'm using this because a lot of people are going to use these 40 days to go ahead and drop something, like I was saying. But it's also the time to start something. So now that we've found, hopefully, a meaning, right? That's step number 1. We're going to find a meaning. I'm gonna stop overeating, and I'm going to start working out because I feel horrible. I'm fat, I'm obese, all right? You got to stop lying to yourself, okay? You got to be serious. If you really want to see these changes, you can't just be saying it's all right. I'll lose it at some point, someday, somehow. It's just not going to happen. So you want to get serious with this. So that's the first step. Now the next step is just setting it up, setting up your strategy. Start making a plan of how you're going to do this. Right? And I like to do this mentally because I've been practicing it for a while. And I get to these goals, and at the beginning I was writing it, but now I'm just like, I picture it, I see myself doing it, and I get it done. But I know the process, the way in which I like to get things done, and the way that it works out for me. I start small, right? Like I'm getting ready for the marathon, New York City Marathon, about 26 miles. So I start small. I'm up to about 5 or 6 miles that I can jog almost, if not every day, every other day, which is usually what I do. So I started, for example, a 2-mile jog, then it led into a 4-mile jog, and now I'm up to 6 miles, which I can do, maybe on a daily basis, but I'm not pushing myself yet. But eventually I will be. So this is where we really want to go ahead. You really want to go ahead and get detailed about how you're going to do this, right? The first week, start doing this with a friend. Find somebody who you're going to have fun with this. You don't just want to push yourself in it. I gotta do this. I have to do this because I don't want to feel this way. Just have fun with it. It's not about just pushing yourself and then you're depressed because you're doing this and you don't have any friends. All right, find somebody who also has a similar goal, who also wants to get in shape, who might not want to go ahead and give up the meat or the overeating, but who wants to go out there and maybe jog or walk or whatever it is. So you want to really make it fun. So that's step number 2. Start setting up a strategy. Start setting it up so that you can really win. All right? And then step 3 is really just start feeling it. You're going to start. Step 3 is really measuring, feeling it, knowing that you're going to be able to go ahead and complete this because you're feeling it in your body. And in the beginning, my body I still feel pretty sore from these, from these long walks that I'm taking. And, it gets easier. I don't feel sore every time, and you're probably not going to feel that sore either if you're going to do this so that you can get in shape, so that you can work out, whatever it is that you want to give up. After a while, like I was saying, you're also not going to go ahead and you're not going to be, if you're trying to give up certain feelings, like I was saying, jealousy, anger, frustration, give them up for 40 days, try it out, okay? Because this is awesome, all right? I rarely have those feelings come up because I really have taken control of that emotional part of myself. And this is something that some of you might also want to be doing on your 40 days. But don't just drop them. Start bringing in new feelings and see how awesome it feels. Instead, when somebody does something, instead of going ahead and reacting and taking that action to go ahead and show them, like, this is not okay with me, and this is not okay because the society says that this is not okay, and some things really just are common sense that somebody probably shouldn't be doing them, but what's going on is that it's really not meeting your need, right? This is really what's going on inside, so you want to go ahead and maybe find new ways to communicate. So in these 40 days, instead of showing it, with your actions and saying this and that, and always reacting the same way that you've been doing it, take these 40 days to go ahead and try something different, a new direction. So All right, that's about it. I had this written down. I came back yesterday. I wanted to share that story with you guys of what the Father told me at church. So, it's really just, I detailed those 3 steps. Step 1, make sure you have a definition for this, right? Make sure you know what you're going for it, what's your meaning for it. Step number 2, start writing your game plan. Start doing a strategy. Come up with something fun, right? And then just step 3, just measure yourself. Make sure you're doing this stuff. Make sure that you're keeping up with it, that you're feeling it, that you see it. All right? And step 4 is just to celebrate it, to be happy about it. When you come back and you're like, in those 40 days, and you're just like, man, look at this. I look awesome. I'm in shape. I can throw out these old jeans. I can throw out these old shirts, and I'm going out there and I'm buying new clothes. And that would be awesome. And so let's try and do this in these 40 days. That's all you're going to be asking for. It's just 40 days to start one thing. We're focusing on one thing. We don't want multiple things. All right? So that one thing could be, I don't want to feel this way. And that could be because, you got to lose weight. You got to start eating healthier. Or you're also going to have to go ahead and change the way that you're communicating and the way that you're interpreting things. So these 40 days are going to just be for you. And that's what I'm trying to get across. You're going to have to make this time for yourself. This is going to be awesome. All right? Please keep in contact with me with what's going on with your progress. I'd love to hear about it. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a message. My phone number is available as well. It's up there. So please get in contact with me. If you need any help, if you want any tips, any strategies, any kind of assistance, I am more than willing to help anybody. But this is going to be awesome because I'm doing this, like I said, I started little by little, and now I'm just going full throttle, and I'm going for it. And I'll probably be doing like 10-mile jogs like it's nothing, hopefully, by day 40 for me, or 15 miles, right? But this is something that you probably want to go ahead, and you've been probably pushing it off. And this is about the time also, if you're going to the gym, that you start seeing people just kind of like give up because they're like, well, my New Year's resolution was to lose weight. It's not happening really, so whatever. I'm just going to go back and watch TV and just overeat. So you don't want to fall into that. This is the time, all right? So close it in, all right? Bring it in. Start with those processes, all right? Define it. Define your meaning. Start doing your strategy. Find a partner, too, while you're doing that strategy. Make some phone calls. Call somebody you haven't called in a while, but start doing it. Okay, and step 3, measure yourself. Make sure you're doing this thing right. Don't overwork it. Don't stress yourself out over it. This is going to be fun. That's what we're doing in step 4. Is just celebrating all this, okay? So, do it. Get to it. Start it. Make yourself happy and give yourself this awesome reward, this awesome prize in these 40 days. I promise you, you're going to love it, you're going to enjoy it, and this is all you're asking for. It's just 40 days. Okay, I'm pretty sure you can start giving up all that other crap. You can give up the Facebook, the TV, the cell phone, right? The time that you're just spending around lounging and just lazing around on the couch. To go ahead and use these 40 days for something that's super important. And just how the Father was explaining. Okay, I thought it was awesome because I was like, I haven't been to the church in a while, and I was like, well, it's just a father, he's just, really laid back kind of guy. But he's like, no, I got to go into it with energy. He's going in with energy. You can't just go in there thinking, I got to do this. I'm going to have to. No, I'm going to love doing this. I'm going to love feeling incredible. And by the time day 41 comes around, I'm not even going to touch that other stuff because I feel so healthy. I feel so energetic. I feel so passionate about just life and energy and love and everything that I feel now. So hopefully that's what's going to be going on for you in day 40 and 41. You're not going to be looking back and saying, oh, I can't wait to get back on the Twinkies. No. So this is it. Close it in. All right. Time's almost up for me. So I love you all. Much peace, much love. Keep in contact with me.